nunnery. Alright, so we're going to do our review of the workbook. So this is a review of last week. So your workbook assignments, I don't recall what pages they're on, so.
11 to 14, I think.
Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is go through the different exercises now. I got it.
We just parsed,
Yep.
and it's not the same one, but it's, do you want to do it again, or do you want to just do the rest of the stuff?
We're just going to go through it. So we have Andragon.
Okay. I've got this,
Okay.
I think.
And I got Lewis's books here, so I'll go through his. Oh, good, you were able to get all your books, Ruth.
Well, that was fast.
Amazon is great.
Yes. I recommend, but, what are you doing for your videos?
Amazon videos, yeah.
Okay. I'm using the ones on Bill Mounce. I don't remember what I paid, but, I think it was like $89 or something like that.
I do one on Amazon Prime, it's like 86.
Yeah, so it's about the same. There are tons of helps on that website.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are free
Yeah.
for anybody.
Yeah, this is off his website off the teacher login, too.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm flashing on the screen here. So, okay, parsing one. Case ending on this?
Accusative.
Yep, okay, and then what are we for number?
Singular.
Yep.
Male.
Yeah, lexical form?
I said male.
What?
Anthropos.
Correct. And then inflected meaning? Yeah.
And
Good.
that kind of people.
Okay, horai? Or horai?
Which we,
Yeah, which we had a different version of
Yeah,
this just
that's
recently.
feminine, nominative, plural.
And then inflected meaning, this would be
Hour.
hours, yeah. Okay, good.
Or the.
Yeah, hours.
Tell me, can you explain to me again why we add the?
It's the S at the end of our
Yeah,
plural, it's,
I mean, no, why it's plural in the lexical form? The lexical form is what?
hora.
If it's.
Yeah, if it's plural and it's parsed form, then it's gonna
Oh,
be,
gotcha.
yeah.
Oh.
Cause, yeah,
The,
that's what the inflection is, the inflection means the case endings. What is, you take this root word, you add all the endings onto it, and then what does it mean after you add all the endings?
okay,
So,
okay.
and Greek, as I told you, Greek was highly synthetic, so that means it deals with a lot, it's an inflected language, so that means it has tons of endings that give all the grammatical meanings. So,
Okay.
okay, so sorry if I didn't.
No, I
Well,
mean,
I wasn't clear with that
come
before.
on, plural, okay,
Hey, next, 10.
10.
And remember, use the rules, like your declension
Okay.
rules.
Before you add the,
Well, what's the
Well,
vowel? What's
the
the vowel before the ending?
is, edda,
Yeah, so that makes it a what declension?
feminine,
Yep, and then you know if you've got the new there, that's going to be
Accusative.
singular, yeah. Yeah, so that just means the,
So what's the lexical form?
this would be ho.
Oh.
Yeah.
That means the.
Okay.
So, wait, how would you write the lexical form?
Omicron with a hard breathing mark.
Okay, thank you.
And basileas?
There's accusative, singular, feminine.
Plural. Is it
It's plural.
plural?
Is,
Am I right?
I think so. I want to make sure.
yeah, she's right.
Yeah. I have a habit of saying yes too quick.
Feminine, plural, accusative.
So the inflected meaning is kingdoms?
Yes, exactly. You are exactly right. Yes, kingdoms.
And how do you pronounce it?
Basileas.
Basileia.
Yeah. So this is
Basileia.
two different. Well, it's a diphthong. That
EI.
that epsilon iota is going to be a diphthong. Okay, and I'm gonna give you all a warning here. Greek loves to have strings of, what do you call it, long strings of vowels together. You will see words that have something like this,
Oh my goodness.
and still be pronounceable. Ooh, I.
Who
Yeah, you will see something like that.
Oh.
So. Okay, next. Theory. We just covered this in our test.
Yeah. So let's see if I do it the same way.
What's the declension on this?
Second declension.
Yep, making it a, what kind? Masculine, exactly. And then we know that a masculine noun ending with a iota becomes a what?
Plural?
Yep, but
Nominative.
nominative, plural, yep.
Nominative.
Okay, so then, what does this mean in its inflected form? Correct? And then what's the, what do you call it, what's the lexical form of this word?
Sales.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so now we have to, and there's two different variants of this that we can have.
Oh, I did not do that one.
Is the case Omicron?
Is the case,
Uh-huh.
is the brain just went dead, is the declension Omicron? Yes, it is. But this one's a weird one, and then, because you have this 2x here, this
Yeah,
is
it
gonna,
threw me, I just kept going.
this is gonna be, that's actually a clue, because the second and third noun, second and third noun rules. The third noun rule is, I do believe, okay, so no, the second noun rule is the accusative and, the nominative and accusative and the neuter forms are exactly the same, so
Yeah.
in the singular, so this.
Every new word has the same form in nominative and accusative.
Okay, so then we know that there's two here, that clues us off that this is going to be a neuter. So then that also clues us in that it can be either nominative or accusative.
Yeah, you said it.
And then knowing that, what's the word's lexical form?
So, wait, what's the number?
It's singular, sorry.
Singular.
You'll have a different one for plural.
So nominative singular.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the lexical form?
Yes, what's the next lexical form?
Close.
Well, no.
Is it huh?
Yep, that's
That's
all.
what she said,
Yeah, exactly.
not me.
We've got to get another form of the word the here. And then I just gave the meaning.
I had hot on there, but I erased it. Why did you erase it?
All right,
No.
we ready to move on? Okay. Logos. 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 So there we go. What do we have for our declension here?
Second declension.
Okay, making it a masculine. And then what's the case ending here? I'm sorry?
It's accusative plural.
Yep, okay, exactly. And then the lexical form of this word,
Logos.
okay, and then the inflected meaning,
Words.
correct, plural.
Words.
Okay, next one,
Oh.
kailoi.
Oh.
Okay, and let's do our,
So it'd be masculine.
yep, first, second declension. So
Nominative,
masculine ending with a iota is going to be
I put nominative.
nominative plural, okay, great.
That's really good.
Okay, and then, see how quick you're picking up on this? So then the, what do you call it, the lexical form is going to be what?
Kairos.
Correct, and then the meaning.
Appointed times and seasons.
Time,
Zep.
yeah, exactly,
Times.
plural. Okay. Tas,
Okay, there's another one that is.
Feminine, accusative.
correct. Because we have, which declension?
First declension.
Correct. And then sigma at the end of a first declension makes it a, Rachel?
Accusative plural.
Exactly, accusative plural. And then what's our lexical form on this?
Ha.
Yep, haro. And then its meaning. No, just
These.
No.
The cars, yeah, it's no matter what's the, even in English. Yeah. Christon. Okay, we have which
Again.
declension?
Second,
For second, yep, so making this a what?
accusative,
Well,
oh,
masculine.
masculine,
Yeah, and then accusative.
Singular.
Exactly. And then its lexical form?
Christos,
Yep, and its meaning.
Christ's. Oh, no, singular,
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So when you, in the Bible, does it always use this form for Christ?
This form, please.
The,
Depending.
singular,
If, for Jesus, yeah, I've never seen it in plural.
okay.
But yeah, it's talking about, God gave all authority, or the Father gave all authority to Christ would
Mhm.
use. Well, actually, no, that would be a different case there. So,
Oh, because it's an object,
we'll get into that, 'cause
okay.
that's this lesson, so it would be something a little bit.
Oh, that is a
Yeah.
accusative.
Yeah, so the Father loved Christ because this would be the accusative,
Mhm.
so it'd be,
Mhm.
alright, so now we're going into our exercises for translations. Okay, hit die. See, we got the translation, so you already know that he, she, or it comes.
The hour
Time
comes.
comes.
Yep, exactly.
She said time, I said hour.
Yeah,
Either one?
yeah, the time's here, the
Time's
time's
better.
yeah.
The time has come, the time is
Yeah.
now. Okay.
Agaposi de tonteon. So this, we already know this means they love.
But,
But and the God. They love
But-
God.
But
God.
we have to remember in Greek we have, in English we have prepositions, in Greek they have postpositions, so this goes
There's not God loves them.
there.
Or they love them.
Yeah.
But they love God.
But or in they love God, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna run into this a lot in Greek, so you have to break your brain with this whole
Okay.
postpositioning thing.
I put, but God loved them.
How do you imply that? No, you couldn't. No. Because them would be, you would have to have this, and this would have to be in a different form,
Mm-hmm.
which would, it's possible to do that with a, what do you call it, with a verb in Greek, but that's way down the line.
Okay.
Okay.
My brain can only handle so much at a time. I thought my head was gonna explode this today. Okay.
Esosen, autos, aus. So, he, she, it saved.
To be honest, I struggle with that.
I'll blue this one. What's the double? Let's see.
Like he saved another's,
That was it?
He saved, well, it's kind of be the others, you have,
the other.
yeah, you can have, yeah, so here's this is the subject here. So in English, we have a word order, so we have, this is our subject. This,
Others.
Why is it other and not another?
actually, I don't know, that's a good one. He saved another, well, the clue is going to be in this right here. It's plural, another's, but then that doesn't function in
But the
English.
others.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have, yeah. Yeah,
So you would read it how? He saved?
Yeah, he saved, cause here,
Yeah,
this is parsed and,
right.
which we're gonna get these endings later, how, what do you call it, Greek verbs work later. But this ends up becoming the masculine plural accusative. So, you know, this is gonna be the subject, this is going to be the object here. So this is object plural. And then in
Okay.
English, we're subject, which is here, verb, which is here, and then object. So he saved others.
Okay.
And this is where the word ordering is gonna be throwing us off here. Okay, everybody ready to move on to the next one? Well, we're moving on anyway. I'm running out of time. Quickly. Lagunum ton Ieson Caetus Apostolus. Okay, I'm gonna give you a clue. We got a post position here, so this goes here.
Post declension, is that what you used to call it?
Post position, yeah.
Post position.
Instead of a preposition.
Did you learn those?
What?
Did you?
Yeah, you learned those.
It's in our
I don't
vocabulary
know.
list, I don't remember what it meant.
It was in the book.
Okay, the only one you haven't learned right here is this verb.
Yeah, but I
Ripple.
see,
I-
but
Now I see.
now, yeah, now,
Jesus and the
Yeah, yeah, because we don't need this.
right,
You can drop that. Yeah.
so
Yes.
now I see Jesus and the apostles, is that what you said? Okay,
Because we have here our
It is and.
accusative plural, which are with our matching. Because if you were to do, remember I told you how the interlinear doesn't really work out well. I see now the Jesus and the apostles. So it sounds clunky to English ears. You can do it, but this one's still fairly easy to deal with. I don't know why that's like that. Okay. Okay. Hey agape macrothume. And this is he, she, or this patient.
So, the patient.
First Corinthians
I
13.
don't know his patient.
Yeah. First Corinthians 13. Oh.
I'm not sure what it means.
love is patient,
Yeah,
that's what,
that's exactly what that means.
like.
Then it goes the love.
I don't know that I would have gotten that no matter how long I looked at it. So,
Eunosko hotitro ergon tetelestai.
Okay, able is I.
Mm-hmm. And this is still a verb that means I know.
Okay.
With Miranda, we'll get that from Spanish. Hoti.
So is neuter, noun or word.
Well, this was a verb.
Okay.
It could mean that.
yeah, that,
Yeah.
is what it has until the word
That the work. Yeah. That.
is finished.
Yep. I know now. I know that the work is finished. Epoise hologos ton cosmo.
The word made the world.
Okay, I guess in this one, yeah, that's what I have.
Because we have what? We got subject, object, verb, so we have English is always going to be, so you reorder it accordingly. See, how quickly y'all are picking up on this? I'm loving this whole projecting onto the.
That's great, that's working really well. Saves all of that writing time.
Apostello hon angelo. I send,
The angel.
or, but what is another word for, what's another meaning?
Messenger.
Yeah, there you go. See, notice you're not even tripping up on that nasal gamma there, you already
Right.
know that's a, how it's pronouncing. What? Yeah, angelo. Angelo. Another dry erase there. So y'all are just tearing through this. This is great. Lotoi theon opsontai.
They will say God.
What's that?
They will say God.
Yep. Okay, yeah, so we have, but this is a plural here, right? Then we have our subject, object, and verb. So notice how we've got the word orders kind of all over the place here. This is good. I'm seeing the brain's getting molded away from English. Yeah. Again, this isn't a different form. It still means the same thing. Ausentai hautoi tonteon. Okay. Edidasken autus.
They taught, they,
I
no?
had, he teaches them, but I think they taught
It could
them
be,
sounds more right.
without any further information. So we have what,
The was teaching is what?
yeah, I get that, but, so this is the clue here, what's the ending here?
It's plural.
And what else? That's the important part, that last part you're hanging up on is the important part.
Accusative.
Yes, okay, so that makes it the object, right?
Okay.
So where's the subject?
It's implied in teach.
It's one of these, that'd be the subject. So it could be either one of these, well, unless you're talking about modern gender studies, it's not gonna be
Something
this.
is
you know?
teaching them.
So he was teaching them, or she was teaching them, it could be either or. You'll get that out of the context. No, well, don't look confused, that works, same thing as in Spanish. You don't need to say, what do you call it, conduce, él conduce la coche, you can just say conduce la coche, right? And it's not saying, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's implied in the meaning, but especially if it's in context of something was said before. If you were talking about Fernando, you would know that it'd be El, but if you were talking about Maria, it'd be Ea. Veo que te, ten agapen.
Is pursue love? Pursue love?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because here we have, this is in a imperative form, like a command form. So you don't. So by the imperative, the person you're speaking to will be the subject. It's implied. So you got the implied subject and verb, same here, and then your object.
So yes, pursue love.
Pursue love.
Yeah, you had it right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I think I know the next one too. Search the scripture?
Yeah. Well, the writings, yeah.
The writing.
Yeah, it could be scripture, writing, yeah. So, yeah, scripture.
I
Yeah, go ahead.
kind of translated it to scripture
It
myself.
can be, yeah. Scripture just really means writings.
So is
Yeah.
that T-E, or not T-E, that tau epsilon, like a U?
It's an imperative.
Okay.
It's a command.
Okay.
And love. How do imperatives commands? Like say if I were to ask you to, if you were to ask me to stand up right now. well,
Párate.
What?
Párate.
Yeah, but that, what's that last?
Te.
Yeah, same thing.
Oh.
Same imperatives. I said you're gonna get verbs real easily.
I hope so.
Yeah, I said
Something coming.
you're only picking this up really quick. Okay. It's easier to read here. I just never realized it. Pet play rotai Hokkaidos kai engiken he basilea.
We're just gonna sit back and watch this one.
Yeah. So we already got the clue here. He, she, or has come, or it has drawn near.
Kingdom,
Yeah.
the kingdom.
Okay, and how have we been handling this? Where's our subject?
Um,
What?
I had two subjects.
Yeah, I did too,
I had
because we,
Kronos
Yeah.
and Barcelona.
Okay, you're right. So, but we also have something here. Do you know this word yet?
And
Yeah. So we've got two different what do you call it, clauses.
the time
Yeah.
has come and the kingdom has drawn near.
that's what I put.
Yeah.
Okay, same.
Is that right?
What's that?
The
The time has come and the
Yep.
kingdom is drawn near.
That's
Exactly.
cool. I got it.
Yeah. So we still have our objects here and here, and then our verbs here and here. Y'all are getting better with this really quick. You're not saying it, well, please. But they caught it that we have both. We got nominative, masculine, nominative, and feminine here. So they found that there's two subjects here. We have the conjunction here, kai, joining together two clauses.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm still struggling with.
And two phrases, if you will.
Yeah.
So nominative.
Nominative articles are really easy to spot
Uh-huh.
because in the masculine and the feminine, it's just a vowel with a rough breathing sign.
Okay.
Yep. Exactly. And the singular.
In the singular, nominative.
In the singular, nominative. Okay, so
Um,
the reading.
So that was, once I realized that, that made things a lot easier on me because I could just point out the subject really quickly and then I had to find the object.
So repeat that rule again, please?
In the feminine
Now
and
we're
the
gonna move on to the lesson.
masculine, the nominative singular is just a vowel with a rough breathing sign.
Okay.
We're gonna have to move on to the lesson. It's ourselves of time. So we've done plenty of review. So I'm trusting that if you can go through your review again if you so choose.
Yeah, I
And
think I need to
yeah, because we're down to 45 minutes and I need to get us
teach
into
the next.
yeah. So you take the formulas that we're working with here and you should have no problems moving on to where you need to go from there. Come on. There it is. Ay, 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 why are things fighting me? Okay. So now we're moving on to our next two cases, the genitive and dative cases. Okay, and these, well, there's technically 5 cases in Greek, but we're not going to cover the 5th because it's very rare that you'll ever run into it in biblical Greek. So we're going to call it a day with these 2 cases. Okay.
I'm all for it.
All right. So the genitive, well, with English, we have different cases. We have our possessive case, where you have the book of Bill, where you have the of construction, or you can have Bill's book. This is the
Yeah.
only surviving case ending that we have common usage in English is the possessive. Okay. So we're familiar with that, and that infers some sort of a not necessarily just a possession, but something that is attached to, something that originates from, if you will, from the subject or the object within grammar. So then we also have our indirect object, indirectly related, but not received. So where you're going to be running into that Karen, subject, through Brad, object, a ball. So the ball becomes the indirect object. And this, what you're going to be running into with indirect objects is a to, going towards action. So say again.
An incomplete action.
Not an incomplete,
No?
just an action.
Okay.
So that's how the verb's going to be acting upon. So here we have our subject and our direct object, sorry. Okay, the way
So
it'd be
if
better
I-
phrased, you would understand this better, would be Karen threw a ball, because it's active object,
To
to
Brad.
Brad.
Right,
So then Brad would be the indirect object. So you're always, that's gonna be your conjoinder. You can also have for as being your joinder for this kind of idea of how you deal with, I gave this, I had a great example at home earlier, and my mind's not thinking of it now. I'll think of that later, sorry.
is this, yes,
So, in dealing with the indirect object in English, we always use this objective case of to him, or to her, or to the car, if you will, as being something in dealing with the indirect object, how the verb acts upon the indirect object. So we already know, well, here in Greek, you have the genitive case that acts a lot like the possessive in English. Not necessarily, but it deals with a relationship. If you want to, the clue's in here, genitive, it's born of, so you can't have the genitive object is dependent upon the direct object for its existence. Makes any sense? So in the case endings, always genitive case ending, in this case would be genitive singular masculine, be theu. And then we have something that of construction laws of God, we end up having nomu theu as your, or nomu theus. And genitive tends to follow the head noun, meaning, what's the word I'm thinking of here? Sorry, my brain just kind of decided to shut down right there at the end. They'll end up having an agreement relationship within genitive. So it's not like you're going to have as much as, you could have no subject and the genitive can end up being the genitive agreement can end up being the subject. If that makes any sense.
do you have an example?
Yeah, we're gonna go through
Okay,
that
okay.
eventually. But whenever you see this when you're going in a genitive, think of a possessive case, like the laws of God. This is interesting how you can even have the, Bethany's car. That's another way you want to put it. The redness of the shirt, or the pinkness of the shirt in Marina's case. But it's going to be something where you have another noun that is directly tied to and dependent upon the subject of the object it's modifying.
Okay,
So here we have within the theu, this is going to be our genitive masculine singular of God. So this would mean of God, if you were to translate this into its inflected meaning.
because of this,
That ending,
the
the case ending.
upsilon,
Yeah, with the circumflex on top.
the circumflex, okay.
Okay. Okay, now into our dative case. And dative case deals with the indirect object. So you'll have
Okay.
different prepositions in your translations as in to, in, and with. So angel appeared to him. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Whoever is angry with his brother. And then what you would end up having is these would end up being in the dative form. So indirect object to, which is going to be your typical translation of dative form, he would give,
So that's
To
like
you.
the keyword to.
yes, but if you're noticing, yes, you can either say like, he would give you living water, or he'd give to you living water. You can end up having it without the to, but what you end up having is, without it being a transitive, which means like something of a transaction, it's something that's the verb is doing to the indirect object. He being subject, you being indirect object, living water being direct object.
Say that one more time.
Okay.
One more time.
He, subject, and then this, well, these are both verbs here. You being indirect object, direct object, which would be our accusative, would be living water. And kind of getting your mind around that. The genitive is going to be fairly easy. So it's just, you think of it as the possessive. And the way I also think about it is like another way of saying like say you think of the word doghouse, right? That's a house of the dog. But we know the compounding that this means. But you can do that in Greek where you just have the two separate words, but in genitive form, meaning that house is depending on there being a dog. Not that there's a dog depending on there being a house, if that makes any
Right,
sense.
right. Yeah.
Okay, and remember that iota subscript that we ran into, which I said we're never going to pronounce, but why did I teach you that silly thing? Because you're going to be running that a lot in the dative case. And when you start seeing that iota subscript, start thinking dative. So start thinking indirect object at that point in time.
Is that no matter the letter it's connected to?
Not quite no matter, but yeah. You're not going to run into it a lot outside of the dative case. There's only going to be certain instances.
But it will always be the Omicron?
No.
No, okay, so it's okay.
Yeah, and there's a rule to it, which I'm going to cover here momentarily. And get ready to stretch those writing hands out because here's our paradigm for dun 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 dun. Now we've got our nominative, we've got our genitive, we've got our dative, and we've got our accusative. So our new case endings are now here in orange. So, yes, am I in your way? Say, Thomas, you make a better wall than a.
It's not what you're saying.
Can you see everything fine? Okay.
Okay. So now here, it's not universe, like we don't have the universal upsilon, but we also see, we have the sigma in our first declension, but the upsilon in the first declension. But what you're talking about, Rachel, the iota. So, in the dative form, you're going to run, we'll run into this later, but what ended up happening is you're going to see in another format of this, the iota's off to the side. Here the iota got swallowed up, and it ended up lengthening the omicron into an omega. And because of eta and alpha are already long vowels, they don't get lengthened.
But it doesn't have the circumflex on
No, it doesn't. Not all the time.
it. Okay.
Okay, so this is all singular here. We're going to be running into plural here very shortly. And once you see the plurals, you'll start understanding the iota subscript at that point. Let me know when y'all are ready. So Ruth, what did you major in at Baylor?
I studied veterinary medicine.
Sure.
Veterinarian.
Veterinary, awesome. Are you gonna want to get a job out in the veterinary clinics over here?
I started my first month.
Where at?
At Hondo Hospital.
We go there.
Hey.
Yeah, we're sending a lot of business y'all's way.
Maybe I'll see you guys.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That's good. They're such sweet people over there.
They're great. So.
Yeah. Everybody need some more time? Yeah. No worries.
Yeah, I may need, is this in the book?
Yes, it is. Everything that's on
If
here.
you need to move on, you
We're
go
good.
ahead, okay.
We're powering through this fairly quickly. Okay, everybody getting the whole concept of dealing with a direct object, or do you have any questions on that?
Are you talking about in this,
Yeah, we're dealing with the dative case,
I'm gonna have to work, I'm gonna have to do exercises this week. to really get it.
Yeah, it would be like simple, like, so I, subject, gave, verb, the
Yeah.
book, that's
Yeah.
the direct object, to Rachel, indirect object. So that would end up being subject, then, sorry, nominative, then verb, then, what do you call it? Accusative, then dative. Or then I can add, I gave the book to Rachel, to Rachel's dad. I gave the book to Rachel's dad, then we'd end up having, Rachel would end up becoming the genitive, and then her dad would end up becoming the dative.
The book would still be,
Accusative, yeah. And all of that you get, remember I told you that you can boggle around those word orders, and no matter what, the book is still getting to Rachel's dad, no matter what order it's in. So if you wanna look at it like a, I think that's the best one, so let me use this as a paradigm for you. This is going to be the nominative, gave, and that's just a verb, the book, and that's going to be our accusative, to, and this is going to be our clue here, Rachel, but Rachel's, because we have this, we know that two doesn't go there, it's going to go to here, dad. So we have dative, and we have genitive here. Or we can even seal up and how it's going to be in Greek, where it'll probably be less messing with you. So, dative, genitive. So then we have here, the clue words there, the to and of.
yeah,
But are you starting to see how this is going to function?
Then you can move to
What's that?
dad and of Rachel anywhere.
Yeah, and no matter how you reorganize all of this, the book is still getting to Rachel, not to Rachel's dad, not to me.
No, it's still going to.
What's it?
dad.
What's that?
It's still going to Rachel's
Yeah.
dad. It's
No
going to.
matter, it's still, no matter how you reorganize this sentence. Exactly. Okay, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So are you starting to understand the concept of genitive and dative now, seeing that sentence?
starting.
Yeah, it'll get more natural when time comes. That said, you'll really understand this lesson in a week or two. Now we have our plural. For nominative. Alright, so we have
This is it.
nominative, genitive, dative, accusative.
Make the D look more like a D.
Rather than a DD.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There you
Okay, so remember what I was talking about the iota subscript? There it is. That where it once was, at least,
Okay,
in earlier forms. It gets
go.
It gets swallowed up under the Omicron. It was pronounced back in we call it the ancient Greek or Mycenaean era, but by the Koine era, it was no longer pronounced. It was just brought under the Omicron and extended the Omicron out to the longer form of the Omega.
So is it pronounced low voice?
Yep, low voice. It would be low voice. Accent on first. Low voice.
Low voice.
Low voice, yeah.
the voice.
Yeah, but this is got a face because you have the circumflex. I'll give you all some time to write this down. Is everybody making notes or?
Yes.
Okay, let me give you a hint of what I did back when I was studying Greek.
Okay.
I typed these out because I wanted to go through the annoying process of actually learning how to type in Greek. Because I was thinking that would actually have me, because I'm intentionally trying to find the key on the keyboard. And I'll send you all the link in this email, how to download the Greek font, and it also has the keyboard map to where you type these out. I made posters and I hung them up on the wall in front of my desk to where I can look up all the time and see all these different paradigms. You remember those days?
Yes.
First Hebrew, then Greek?
Yes.
Yeah.
I am not in your email list.
Okay, I'll forward everything to you then. Oh, because I'm in the office right next to you. Alright, so everybody's good to go.
Yeah, I saw those offices.
The messy versus the clean one? Yeah, Ruth, that's not the way you think it is. Okay, and then the paradigm for our definite articles here. So let's see here, we've got our nominative, our genitive, our dative, and our accusative. And why it's in this order, it's because for standards of language nerds everywhere, it's always in this order. Thank your lucky stars, there's only 4. So we could also have an ablative case. Greek does have a vocative case, but we're not going to learn that yet. We could have an instrumentive case, an ergative case, a transitive case, an instrumental case.
I know how to spell transitive.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that word since I was, I don't know.
We.
Yeah, we. We babe.
Are you seeing some much easier patterns here in our, especially in our plurals? Same all the way across in plural. And then here, we only have the first and second declensions to work with here. There's no changes otherwise. But yeah, so once you see your iota subscript, you know you're dealing with a dative singular. But once you start seeing that iota full size, you know you're dealing dative plural. Of course, if it's only if it's followed by a final sigma. So this is all of the ways to say Greek. I mean the word the in Greek.
Just this many.
Yeah, just that many. Yeah.
Is this all of them? It
Yes.
was 24,
Yeah,
right?
minus the vocative case, which you'll never run into.
24.
Twice. Twice?
Twice.
Twice.
So if you want really nerdy, it's twice.
Toys.
Yeah, there you go, we got it.
Toys.
Yeah, but nobody pronounces that in modern. If you're lucky when you're going to be listening to, like, say, if you go to all your old concordances, like Strong's Concordance 486, toys, toys.
They can have that on their Bible.
Yeah, it's really annoying. You're like trying to get somebody with a Cockney accent trying to read out Swahili
Toys.
words. So all the words the. So these start becoming second nature really quickly.
Yeah.
I do reassure you on that. Until you start seeing their other functions.
What?
Some
Don't
of you
you be
say
pulling
that.
that.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Some of you giggle when you say that.
Well, because they carry grammatical functions. Remember when I told you that you end up having this word is a clue of genitive in English. Sometimes the word the can mean that,
Why?
because that's Greek.
Because
Yeah.
because they don't always need to say the, but what if the conjugation for the word is a very big conjugation?
Well, it's also the grammatical functions being carried with it, and if you don't have, you don't need that of word in Greek due to, there is a word for of in Greek, but you don't have to have it because of the whole function of the genitive case. Okay, now moving on. So, we've already kind of covered this one, the dative singular, the iota subscripts if possible. There's just a rule of thumb that we're gonna, once you start seeing the iota subscript, you know you're dealing with a dative singular.
Okay, so hang on. Is this another one of his,
Rules, yes.
but, so
Noun rule
the
number
three
4.
noun rules, I
Yeah.
wish I'd have known that.
Yeah, but now we're up to rule 4, which we're gonna
How
have to get
many
this.
are there going to be?
I think it's, well, for up to the end of this class, it's gonna be 6.
6, okay.
Yeah. I don't know in total, I don't recall. Yeah, but this is a very strong rule of thumb. When you're gonna be reading through Greek, you're gonna see that iota subscript all over the place.
When is it not possible?
What?
When is it not possible?
When is what not possible? Oh, if possible. Actually, I don't know. I think there's probably some exceptions with any language you're going to run into. Oh yeah, it's going to be in certain borrowed words. You're gonna have irregular words in every language. There's almost no such thing as a perfect language. It completely follows its own grammatical pronunciation rules.
Iota's under the, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the eta, it's like kind of hidden right there. I realize I got way ahead of myself on that first intro into everything, so I'm gonna be basically repeating some of the same stuff I've said already.
That's okay. I'm sure it's not gonna hurt a single one of us.
Repetition is very
That's right.
Repetition is great. Repetition is great.
Stop it.
Alright, everybody ready?
Yeah.
Okay, now rule number 5, vowels often change their length or they ablaut. So when I showed you within the plural, you had the omicron iota sigma, but in the singular you don't have the sigma, and you don't, since you don't pronounce the iota, it just dives back down underneath the vowel, and the omicron gets lengthened into an omega, but it doesn't happen to the eta and the alpha because those are already long vowels. What?
I'm pronouncing the word at the end, Abrulant.
Where? What? Ablaut.
Ablaut.
Ablaut, yeah. As compared to those who've studied German, which is what's an umlaut?
I asked Becca.
She can't.
Oh, is it? Is it 2 dots?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that means it raises it brings what do you call it, a mid or back vowel into becoming a forward vowel. So an u into an e, or an a into an e.
She said that like if they do something like the green button on the black coat, all turns into one word.
It can be, very much in German. Yeah, it's an agglutinative language. German is. It means.
It gels together.
Yeah, it glues, I think that's the cool thing. It's all glued together. Yeah, there's a bunch of languages that are agglutinative where you can have very long words due to that. Like
Russian does that, right?
somewhat, but not as bad. Like Welsh and Turkish are really bad about it too. They compete of who's got the longest word in the
Oh my
book.
goodness.
The longest place name is I don't even want to bother to try to pronounce it. It's a Welsh place, and then the longest word is a Turkish vowel. It's supposed to be I think it's 88 letters long.
Fishy. That sounds terrible.
Yes.
That's just ridiculous.
So the omega is the singular, right? And the omicron, yoda.
Yeah, whenever you have the subscript, yeah, the Yoda subscript is singular. So, but if this were plural, this would be like that. Where the Yoda is not subscripted because you've got a sigma right next to it. Okay, moving on. Now rule number 6. In the genitive and dative, the masculine and neuter will always be identical.
So these are all the noun rules we're gonna get in this class.
Tonight's class, yes.
Oh, and tonight?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna do something.
Yeah, wait till we get to verbs. I was thinking about if we had the spare time to show you like what the verb root was on those verbs that we were showing earlier. So yeah, here we have logu, ergu, logo, ergo, logon, ergon,
Actually makes
logos,
it easier though
ergos.
because then they're the same.
Yeah. As we go back to, there's not a lot of neuter nouns in Greek. You're going to be mainly dealing with masculine and feminine. Because if you notice, they keep using use ergo for all the what do you call it, examples of the neuter.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if learning Greek is easier than learning English.
Depending on what language you're learning.
Are these examples in the book saying is
Yeah,
this
everything
exact
I'm
thing
showing you is exactly in the book, yeah.
I'm going to say see book. What
Yeah.
page is it, you know? Never mind, it's not a big deal. Okay.
On this one, oh, we have in the previous chapter
We're
done.
at chapter 7, right?
Yes. Okay, right now we are on page 58. Oh, actually, no, this chart here is not in page. This chart is not in the book, so. Do what all the intrepid students do and just take pictures, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just,
Yeah.
and then I'll copy it when I
Yeah, the rule, this part, these lines are in the book, that's not in the
go home.
book.
Right.
Okay.
What?
You have a chart with the case endings, but not in a word.
Yeah, it doesn't have all the colors on it.
Yeah, we have those.
Yes. We're building a fireplace in our living room, so this was all nowhere.
You're building a fireplace? Awesome.
It's like half up right now, and then I realized I need to take it down and move it over like an inch.
Oh,
So,
that's fun.
it's just the framing, so it's not a big deal, just
Okay.
move it over an inch. It's not a big deal.
Yeesh.
I mean, I wish I didn't have to do that, but
Yeah, I want to hear about how you do it, because we're thinking about installing one in our room too. Yeah.
it's not difficult, I just haven't had time to be home to do it.
That's my problem. Of the 100,000,000 other things I have to do at home.
Yeah.
That's, yeah. All right. So, do you remember what I told you about proper names? That this is a rule. Some become decline here, and decline means they have the declensions. They have the ending here. So, the proper name, Jesus, can still get declined. So we have here our nominative, our genitive, our dative, and our accusative cases for Jesus.
Okay.
But you're not going to run into that a lot in a lot of forenames. You will run into it. I know in like say talking about the Sea of Galilee, Galilea, you will have Galilea, Galileu. Oh, actually that's masculine. Make it Back to my
How do you
feminine.
say it? I think that's all.
What's that?
Nina, right?
Yeah, Galileas, Galilean, yeah, so on and so forth. You will have these kind of same endings for certain, but not all. You probably won't have it for, you know, actually you'll have it for Yesias.
Is that Isaiah?
Hmm? Okay, when everybody's ready, let me know. Let me see if this is, if these are in the book, I'll let you know here. Yeah, this is on, this specific one's on page 59. 7.13.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Oh, they're singular too.
Okay. Now we have alternative first declension here. Because
And that is.
where doxa, instead of becoming doxas in our genitive, or doxa in our dative, ends up becoming doxis and doxic. See, we have the alpha here getting swapped out for the eta here and here. So we are going to have certain first declensions. Remember, you have some first declensions that end with these letters too, that you'll end up having swap outs.
Is there a reason for that?
Just irregular.
Because we can.
Yeah, because the key.
Does it make it easier to pronounce?
No. I don't know, just language just happens to change just because of how popular changes happen in the language, where most people will start to say something and that just kind of shifts the language with it. But yeah, I have no clue otherwise. I mean, it became more popular just to say doxis rather than doxas. It just might be easier for the mouth to say doxis rather than doxas. I don't know, but it's a lot of different. I don't know the exact theory why Greek linguists would say these specific words shifted, but it happens all the time in languages and is maddening at times. What's up, Rachel?
This is different. The just. I wrote it down and I forgot to figure out what's different about this than the other thing. Is it the
Alternative first declension versus the.
You know what? I think I actually know why this might be the case. Okay, so doxa means glory, but it could also mean something like some brain dead. It can also mean something as simple as belief, if you will.
Doxa?
Yeah, or like how something appears to you, because you also have the verb. This is the same word in its verb form. And you notice here, that changes. Here we also have an epsilon, so that may have something to do with it, if I were to guess. So the C is a kappa here, but then we have an epsilon, but now we've got an eta. So that might be the case. So it'd be like belief, or to believe, or appear, or to appear, glory, or to glorify. This word has a lot of different meanings in Greek. Okay, and now this one's going to break our heads here. Pronouns, Greek pronouns, are almost as bad as our current neo-pronouns in the if you have to deal with that kind of stuff at school or work. So, this is all versions of autos. meaning he, she, it, his, her, its, to him, to her, to it. We have here our, what do you call it, our case endings here. We have both the ending and number, and we have our inflected verb forms, and then here we have our inflected meanings. And these all mean the same thing regardless of the gender, if you will. So here we have masculine, feminine, neuter, and then these are all just all rolled into one. So,
No,
Just have the angles.
I don't have a page number for it, maybe.
yeah. So you can have alto, he gave it to her. So then he gave it to her.
Have you ever listened to that video where they're talking about French and all of the words that sound like bear?
Yeah.
Bear, and she uses this whole sentence and all you hear is bear, 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 bear. It's hilarious.
Well, that's bringing back memories of a bad movie that I can't bring up in a Christian class. All the words sound a lot alike, where they're actually translating them as the same word said over and over again. But yeah, bad movie. Before I was saved, I watched, so. So that's what I was saying when Chip says, so how do you say it in
Oh, yeah.
yeah, alto? Well, see, we still have all of our paradigm here. We still have our sigma. We have the same upsilon here for our genitive. Omega with the iota subscript for our datives. And our nu for our accusative singular. So it follows the paradigm of the T. But this is what we're going to be running into. So certain things seem like they were going to be a little bit easier in Greek, but now we have certain things where you're going to have a lot more to memorize. But if you look at it here, it's really not that much different because we still do have these forms in English. Because it would still sound, her gave his to she, would still sound funny in English. So we already know that you have the proper grammatical meaning with our way of keeping word order structures. So, okay. And where we at? Okay. Translation hints. So we're looking for our keywords. Those are going to be our to's, our ofs, our forward. So we have our of. That's going to be a clue that we're dealing with a genitive. If we have a to or a for, that's our clue that we're dealing with a dative. How do you check for genitives? Well, you're looking.
No, that's two.
Okay, and that's one of the things I was trying to say. Like you have the relational vowels. You end up having the us endings.
Oh.
Yeah, the oo endings, and they're going to end up having more than one. You have to have agreements. So keep possessives with nouns. And so you're going to be looking once. That's the thing. So, do you remember where I had the word order? I gave the book to Rachel's dad. Okay. So what we want to do is we're going to have to do this, meaning that's going to be our genitive, and you're going to want to keep the possessives with the noun.
Okay.
Or sometimes you'll end up having the to, and then somewhere blah 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 blah, and then you'll end up having that somewhere over there. So it can be kind of confusing sometimes, because you might end up having a vowel
It's like
shoved
a
in there.
puzzle.
It is, and that's Yeah.
That's the challenge.
Yeah, and we're only doing it for translation purposes, so it's not like we're gonna be trying to order an ice cream cone and what do you call it, not a small little vacation island in Zachros Creek or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so summarize, and we're probably going to go over a little bit over time. We're gonna cover any of our vocabulary words. So summary, genitive of and dative to and with cases, we covered a lot. They all deal with possessives. Indirect objects are going to be our dative cases. Case endings in the definite article, we went through that. We covered rules 4 through 6. We covered Jesus being our declinable name. And I don't remember all that stuff. Oh, here, you're going to be, names in this kind of, these endings are all going to shift over. That's where I missed early. Proper names that end in endings such as these, they decline as a first declension. And translation hints are going to be dealing with tying in our cases and then sorting out your subject, your verb, your object, your possessive, your genitive, and then your.
I mean, I don't see how people read a sentence.
What's that?
I don't see how people read or write a sentence without taking a year.
Without taking a year. Oh yeah, it does. Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh.
I took 2 years to be able to get to where I could start reading through it, not going, what the heck does that mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's normal. All right, so now we're gonna get into vocabulary really quickly. We're running a little bit over time, but I don't want to take too much long. Okay, anybody try to pronounce this word? Okay, great. Hamartia. Anybody want to take a stab at what that means? Sin, exactly. Are you starting to get used to that meaning? The H? Yeah.
Are these in order with their,
With the
are
book?
these the next words?
Yes, yeah, they're the end of this chapter. Okay. Okay. RK.
Oh, lack of water?
What?
No, I,
Oh.
Hmm.
no.
Give up?
Ralph?
No. Alright. First.
First.
Or it could also mean ruler.
Early.
Yeah. It can also mean ruler. So when you have power and principalities is actually this right here.
Is that where archangel comes from?
Yep.
Oh,
First or head angel, because having that kind of concept of like firstborn, if you will. God. God. Gar. And I'm going to give you a hint. This is a postposition here. Or not a preposition, but a postposition.
Okay.
It means for, like F-O-R, yeah. And instead of having this for God's love, it'll be God's for love, is how it will come out in Greek. Yeah, so that means for. Like, for God so loved the world. Yeah. And then in Greek it'll be God for so loved the world. Apen, that's H here, it's said.
Said?
Yeah, said, like spoke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And here we've got, remember I told you we started having stacked diacritics? So we got a soft breathing mark with a circumflex stacked on top of it. What's that?
she's like ice cream with cherry.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, and then ace is in or into. So, what would be Bethany? What would be a word of saying like you're reading into scripture?
Study? Make inference?
No, there's exegesis and.
Oh, I see.
Ah, yeah, there.
Okay.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
There. The headache. So, exousia.
See ya.
What's that?
Oh, I just repeated you. what you
So,
said.
Exes.
out of?
Yeah, you're right, but you know what this Lucia means is something totally different. But that's not gonna give you a clue to what this word
There
means.
is no clue. It's, I'm reading it right here.
What's
Yeah.
the root of
Authority or power.
Yes, exactly it. But no, she's right. Yeah, this actually means X. And then Lucia, out of. Believe it or not, this means form or essence.
And it's, the word is order?
Yeah, well, it means authority or order, yeah.
Power.
Yeah, but this is giving you a quick little picture into the Greek worldview that the power, the authority only comes out of the divine essence.
Hmm.
Okay,
Who?
Evangelion.
Yeah, evangel,
Yeah, but remember what is, split that there, what does that mean?
oh, you, is it
So
you?
you angel?
good?
Okay,
What?
hold on. I don't remember you, it's a, E.
Okay, then what is, what,
Upsilon.
okay, what would this mean, if we were to take a stab?
Angel.
Yeah, angel, but what is another word? Message, okay. And so when you have this eu, the front, it's good. Good message or good,
News.
yeah, gospel, good news, yeah, something.
Gospel.
Yeah.
Don't hear it right here, but I'm gonna try.
Can you pronounce it again?
Either evangelion or evangelion. Yeah, evangelion. Evangelion. Yeah. In modern Greek, evangelion. So evangelism, evangelize. Okay, and the name above all names. Okay, great. And we would have any trouble with this one? Okay, next one. Curios. If anybody remembers a band from the 80s called Mr. Mister, this will kind of totally change the meaning of one of their songs.
I don't.
Kyrie lays it down the road that I must travel. Yeah. Bethany remembers it.
I don't remember it, but I know that song.
Yeah.
Not that old.
I know your husband was jamming out to Huey Lewis in the news when we were teaching the
Our
kids.
dads are
so-
very particular type of people.
What's that?
So our dads are very particular type of people.
Both of your dads?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're very similar.
Oh,
As far as their music.
Kind of just across the board, they're very similar people.
Interesting.
Yeah.
wait, did one travel back in time in a DeLorean to make? Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
Your dad.
anybody want to take a stab at this without looking at the book?
I've already seen the book, so I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah. Okay, you give up? It means Lord or Master.
So tell us how reading that would make us think it would mean Lord. No way, no.
Yeah, this is
Say it again, Kurios?
Curios, yeah, Curios. But the Kyrie is like another form of like saying Lord, right? If you say like, remember that upsilon is typically a Y,
Yeah.
and then the sign would be like that. So yeah, I didn't know that was had like a religious overtone in it when I first heard the song. And this is a funny word in Greek. I love this word. Me. Actually, pronounce it. What do you think it means?
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
but it's not right. Is it?
Not exceptional.
Yeah. Yeah,
Less than.
yeah, actually it's it. It means no or not. Meh.
Okay,
No or not.
Yeah.
okay.
So meh.
Okay. Uranos.
Uranus.
No. Okay. means heaven.
See, it's nothing
Skies
like when
are-
you see
skies are
one
heaven.
that's Christos, I mean, that's easy.
Yeah, it is,
Right.
yeah.
So this is heaven.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Ah, sorry. Ah.
And
Okay.
is that just like heaven, or is that also like the sky? and-
Yes.
Or the heavens.
Yes,
Okay.
old ancient worldview.
Okay.
Sorry, can you say what that one is again?
Heaven or the sky.
Dylan carpet color.
What?
What'd you say?
So Dylan carpet color.
Carpet counter?
Color, sanctuary.
Oh, wow, yeah. So we're gonna have another church split?
No, I'm just gonna decide. Just kidding.
I think you should, just do
Yeah.
it.
It's not heaven.
So
And
really-
No.
then just tell everybody, oh, we voted on it in the business council meeting.
Yeah.
You weren't there, but
Oh,
we
you
voted on
weren't
it.
there.
There was 20 people at the last one. We like barely had enough for a quorum.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the color I would like, and it looks like kind of. So when you hold it up against the brick, it's in the same color family, and so it doesn't stand
Okay.
out. And so once you put it down, like it's gonna just feel like a continuation. The space is gonna feel a lot bigger,
Okay.
but it's not the same manufacturer as the one we're looking at. So I'm gonna have to convince the manufacturer that we have to show us colors in this family,
Yeah.
not gray.
Okay.
Sorry, not related to Greek.
No worries, no worries. So this is this or these, depending on, it's
This
singular,
or these.
plural, and if you're using, yeah,
Autos, alte,
hutos,
hutos.
haute,
Ah,
tuto,
hutos, hautes,
and
tutos.
the breathing mark,
Yep.
haute.
And is these,
This or
this
these,
or these?
yeah, depending on, was it gonna be this, subject,
Right.
but these,
Oh.
subject, I'm sorry,
Plural or
nominative,
singular?
yeah, nominative, plural,
Mhm.
and then it could be that if it's accusative,
Right.
and then you can also, in verb, like if you're talking about the straight noun form, it's like that one specifically, like that, as you're indicating something you're pointing out.
Okay.
And this means sue.
To accuse
Someone.
Yes, this is almost like you rock.
Oh,
You rule. Me. But I just said the meaning 3 times there in a row.
Okay, so it's you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
Did I
just
say
you?
Yeah, it's you.
Sue?
Yeah, Sue.
Sue?
Not a boy named Sue, but
But you could call a boy Sue.
Like, do.
yeah,
in Greek.
yeah, like,
T
yeah,
in
yeah,
Spanish.
like cool, yeah. Or how would you say your in Spanish? No, okay. Eso es su copa.
Es tu copa.
Su? We-
Oh, the Sue is the formal.
Yeah, I know,
Su
I know, but it's still in
Oh.
Spanish. It's still in Spanish. Okay, wheels.
Wheels.
Jesus estén wheels tu theu.
Say it again?
Jesus estén wheels tu theos. Tu theu. Jesus is.
Son. But it took that sentence to get there.
Yeah. Okay. And this, I love this word, hoste.
Hoste.
Yeah.
Hotel. Hostess, no,
Yeah, hostess,
sorry.
yeah, it's Twinkies.
Yeah.
I'll try to pronounce the word, isn't one of my favorite apologists, John Lennox likes to pronounce it. Therefore,
Therefore,
Yeah.
what's it there for?
therefore, yeah. What's
So that's
therefore?
therefore?
Therefore, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Say it again?
Hoste.
Hoste.
That's a pretty common one. Therefore.
And that'd be it, we're done.
Good.
Alright, so
This is good.
yeah, thank you everybody for sticking through so far. Hopefully genitive and dative have not broken your brains, even though I feel like I did not give them their due.